בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום. והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים. השמיים ואת הארץ. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים. Try singing along with us.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all of you here in our synagogue in Northwood. Welcome to all of you who are joining us from a little further away, whether it's just around the corner or on the other end of the world. I'm sure you're going to let us know in the chat where you're joining us from. Tonight is a very special service. It's the beginning of a very special weekend, our Kabbalat Torah weekend, where our wonderful class of 10 students will be leading us throughout the service. Tonight, they'll be sharing some of their reflections on a journey around the globe. Tomorrow, they'll be leading the service and reading from Torah. Kabbalat Torah literally means receiving the Torah. So tomorrow, in a sense, they're going to give us the Torah by reading it for us. And then we'll give them the Torah literally as their presence will be a little pocket Torah. But for now, we're going to turn to our service. In the sanctuary, you will have booklets to join in on the screen. You'll be able to follow along the slide. We'll begin with Maya Fair.
Shabbat
be talking about the Jews from the UK, Iran, Ethiopia, Ireland, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Japan, and Czech Republic. But first, let's welcome Shabbat.
Please rise. And we say together, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Would you please be seated?
I chose the UK as I thought, as a British Jew, what better way to find out about myself and perhaps many others here and learn more about the culture of Jews in Britain. Jews in the United Kingdom now number approximately 300,000, and England has the second largest Jewish population in Europe and the fifth largest Jewish community worldwide. I think this is something that should be embraced. When hearing about the war in Israel and the rise in anti-Semitism, I wondered about what other large waves of anti-Semitism have occurred. In 1190, England had one of its biggest anti-Semitic events in York. A wave of anti-Semitic riots culminated in the massacre of an estimated 150 Jews, the entire Jewish community of York, who had taken refuge in Royal Castle, where Clifford Tower now stands. This is a horrible act of hatred. I chose to include this because I wanted everyone to recognise how far the Jewish community has come and how much we have all achieved. I want all of us to rejoice in something we all have in common, the beauty of Judaism.
My dad emigrated from Iran to England at the tender age of 13. Hearing about the nerve-wracking journey of my family and the struggles Iranian Jews went through, I was inspired to learn more about their history and my heritage. In Iran, before the Islamic Revolution, Jewish people practiced openly and the synagogues were regularly attended. The large Jewish community didn't feel marginalized or threatened. But almost overnight, Iran's attitude towards the Jewish community dramatically changed, and the country rapidly turned from a secular monarchy into a theocracy. In late 1978, there was sadly another Jewish exodus. Fearing for their livelihood and their lives, the majority of Iranian Jews and their families escaped from Iran. Many people lost their worldly possessions, including property, cars, silver, gold, and fine art. The Islamic Revolution threatened a Jewish lineage dating back thousands of years to the Babylonian exile. The impact of the revolution on my family was enormous. All my relatives were scattered across the world to England, USA, and Israel. My grandparents had most of their possessions confiscated, and my grandfather was never allowed to leave Iran. My grandmother eventually fled with only a handful of precious items. One was a mezuzah that was given to her by her parents, and that mezuzah now hangs on our front door. The recent years, particularly the October 7th attack, has led to surges of support for Israel amongst many young Iranians. A lot of them acknowledge the strong connection between King Cyrus and the Jewish people as a lifelong bond between two great nations. King Cyrus of Iran wrote the first Human Rights Act, allowing religious diversity and tolerance. Accepting human diversity and culture is the highest aspiration for a civilized society. And I hope that one day Iran will be free, and the Iranian Jews, like myself, will be able to return to their homeland.
Shahamor v'zachor v'dibor אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקום הברכה. מראש נגדם לסופה, סוף מעשה במחשבת תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי שתדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום העטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה העם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Around November 2023, a speaker came in to educate us and open our minds about the Jews of Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, there are 25,000 Jews. That's less than 1% of the country's population. Ethiopia is primarily an Orthodox Christian, Muslim, and Protestant country, but there is still a strong, although small, Jewish community. The largest group of Jews in Ethiopia is the Beta Israel, which is based in Gondar, with a growing number of 12,000 Jews in the community. The Jews in Gondar follow biblical, pre-rabbinic teachings. They have the Torah, but not the Talmud. Their language is not Hebrew, but Amharic. Their leaders are priests rather than rabbis. The community are seen to be descendants of King Solomon and Queen of Sheba, but some believe that they are the lost tribe of Dan. Some others also believe that they are descendants of Christians who converted to Judaism. Even though Ethiopia is surrounded by Muslim countries, these few communities have still found each other and built a supportive, caring space and community. They thrive to learn and build their understanding and knowledge of their Judaism and others around them. Every day, more Jews are born, others convert and join communities, and more Jews learn about the communities that are forgotten or not practicing. We grow our knowledge and expand our beliefs of other communities to understand our own community and beliefs.
I have chosen to write about the Jewish people and their history in Ireland. My granddad was Irish Catholic, like 70% of the population, as it is the main religion of Ireland. This made me interested to find out about other religions in Ireland and learn about the past and present Jewish population there. The earliest mention of Jews in Ireland is found in 1079 during the reign of King Henry II. A group of 5 merchants, probably from Normandy, petitioned for administration and were rejected. There were some Jews in Ireland during the 12th and 13th centuries, but when Britain expelled all of its Jews in 1290, the Jews of Ireland were also forced to leave. In order to be able to secure more funding through taxation for his war with France, King Edward, who was also the Lord of Ireland, had to agree to expel the Jews. In 1656, Oliver Cromwell readmitted Jews back into England and Ireland. However, in 1783, the Irish Naturalisation Act excluded Jews again, meaning they wouldn't be counted as Irish citizens, and so many members of the Jewish community left.
This was repealed in 1816 and the Jewish community began to grow again. The Jewish population of Ireland reached around 5,500 people in the 1940s, but according to the 2016 census, it had declined to about 2,500 by 2016. This was mainly due to assimilation and emigration. Over the past 6 years, this has decreased further to just over 2,000, of whom over half live in the capital, Dublin, which is where my granddad was born and grew up. The Republic of Ireland is still home to 2 synagogues, both in Dublin, one Orthodox and one Reform. And I've seen from the live stream chat that we also have Irish members of the Ark community.
נזמור ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבר, עלי היגיון בחינוך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנה. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
I have chosen to write about Jews in France, as I am studying French in school, and I wanted to find out about France's Jewish population throughout history. Jews have been in France since at least the early Middle Ages. During the French Revolution in the late 18th century, France was the first country to emancipate its Jewish population. But in World War II, the Vichy government collaborated with Nazi occupiers to deport a large number of Jews to concentration camps. By the war's end, 25% of the Jewish population in France had been murdered in the Holocaust, though this was a lower proportion than in most other countries under Nazi occupation. Now, France is the largest Jewish population in Europe and the third largest in the world. The Jewish community in France is estimated to be around 500,000, with the majority of communities concentrated in Paris.
I chose Germany because of my great-grandma, where my Jewish heritage comes from. She was from Germany and lived there until she fled, just before the Second World War. Currently in Germany, there are around 150,000 Jews. Jews have been in Germany since the year 321 and stayed throughout the Middle Ages. They suffered heavily during the Crusades and were even blamed for the Black Death. Since the First Crusade, the Jews were persecuted in Germany. The Jews were blamed for the loss of World War I and under the Nazis were killed just for being Jews. The majority of Jews in Germany were killed or left because of the Second World War. Before the war, over 550,000 Jews were in Germany, but afterwards, only around 130,000 remained. After the war, West Germany was very accepting and apologetic to the Jews, but many didn't want to return. The East was anti-religion and didn't want Jews. Now in Germany, Jews are freely allowed to practice and are growing in numbers, but anti-Semitism is growing again, despite the past.
I chose to speak to you today about the Jewish history of the Netherlands, or more specifically, the history of my ancestor, Leon Greenman, an Auschwitz survivor. Up until the 8th of October, 1942, Leon was living happily in the Netherlands with his son Barney and his Dutch wife Elsie. As Leon had originally come from the United Kingdom, he and his son had official British status. However, without any proof of this, the Nazis chose to ignore this fact and proceeded to take them to Westerbork concentration camp. As horrifying as this was, it just got worse for this small family, as on the 21st of January, 1943, Barney, Leon, and Elsie were all chosen to be sent to Auschwitz, where not only did they never see each other again, but out of 750 men, Leon Greenman was one of the 50 to be selected for slave labour. He served for 6 months at Auschwitz before he was transported to Monowitz to do 18 months of labour. He was there up until the 11th of April, 1945, when a group of American soldiers helped many men to flee, including my grandpa's cousin. After going through so much grief, hopelessness, and depression, Greenman decided to dedicate the rest of his life sharing his stories and educating the young about the Holocaust. In February 1998, he received an OBE to his services in education, before peacefully passing away in 2008. Leon Greenman wasn't able to share his story with everyone, and that is why I'm honoured to tell it to you today.
When I was young, I discovered Mario Party. Then I discovered Pokemon. And now I've decided that I love all things Nintendo. So that is why I'm interested in most things to do with Japan. I was lucky enough to visit there just before COVID. I wonder if you can guess how many different Pokemon shops you can visit in a 2-week holiday. The answer is a lot. And because I can't do a speech without mentioning Pokemon, did you know that there are 2 Jewish species of Pokemon? The ghost and ground type automaton Pokemon Golett and its evolution Golurk are based on the Golem of Prague. For those of you who don't know, the Golem is a figure from Jewish folklore. Name origin, Golem, stone figure from Jewish folklore, let, suffix meaning small. Currently, there are an estimated 2,000 Jews in Japan. That's a whopping 1 in 62,500 of the total population of Japan. Almost all of them are short-term residents. The Jewish community of Japan is described as being well-organized and vibrant. Most Jews in Japan live in the capital of Tokyo. There are 2 active synagogues in Tokyo and also 1 in Kobe. The rabbi in Tokyo focuses on serving multinational attendants with a full range of Jewish backgrounds. The Jewish community in Japan exists peacefully with its non-Jewish neighbours. You can get kosher food in Tokyo and Kobe, but I recommend that you just eat sushi. I don't like to talk about World War II, which I prefer to call a great act of stupidity, but it is important to know that even though Japan was aligned with Germany, the Japanese were mostly uninterested in, air quotes, the Jewish problem. Jews in the country were not sent away to camps. Talking about Jews in Japan would be nothing without mentioning Chiune Sugihara, who was Japan's consul in Kovno, Lithuania. He began issuing visas to Jews to help them flee from Nazi Europe, despite orders from Tokyo that he shouldn't. He issued around 3,000 transit visas. In 1985, he was honored by the State of Israel as one of the righteous among the nations for his actions. It has been estimated that as many as 100,000 people alive today are descendants of the recipients of Sugihara's visas. I hope you've enjoyed this walk around Japan as much as I've enjoyed learning about it. When I go back to Japan, which will be soon, Mum thinks I should go and visit the Holocaust Memorial at Hiroshima and the Chiune Sugihara Memorial Museum, which is where thousands of Jews visit each year to pay their respects to a great hero. I will, but under the condition that we don't talk about the great act of stupidity at all. Also, I want to visit a few more Pokemon shops.
Just a few. But before we go to more Pokemon shop, we'll invite you all to rise as we turn to the Baruch Hu on page 92.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
Baruch et Adonai, Hanorah HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam, le'olam va'ed. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due. Now and forever. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
Please be seated. Let us continue together. We praise you, eternal one, our God, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amacha ahavata, Amcha ahavata. Torah u'mitzvot, Ukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadata, Otanu lemadata. Alkeinu Adonai Eloheinu b'shofeinu, Umeinu natziach b'chukecha, b'mitzvah b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hein hayenu, v'yorech yameinu, u'vahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. V'achavat ha'al tasur, Mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael.
Would you please rise?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. words which I command you shall be on your heart, and you shall teach them to all your children, and you shall talk of them when you're sitting in your house, when you're walking by the way, lying down and getting up, and you shall write them on the doors of your house and upon your gates, upon your gates. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim ve'Elohechem. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You may all be seated.
I have chosen to write about the Jewish history of the Czech Republic after I visited Prague with Rabbi Aaron, Abby, and the rest of the KT class last year. Jewish communities previously flourished in the Czech Republic, particularly in the 16th and 17th centuries. After the First World War and before the Holocaust, anti-Semitism was less prevalent than in other parts of Europe and strongly opposed by the first president of Czechoslovakia, Thomas Masaryk. There were more than 360 synagogues, but now only around 200 remain due to being burnt down during the Holocaust or torn down during the communist takeover. Sadly, now there are only 3 that are actually being used as a synagogue, and the others are being used as Christian churches, museums, or schools. At the Ark Synagogue, we are lucky to have the beautiful Colin arch and scroll, which was saved from Colin before they were destroyed. During our trip, we learnt about the last rabbi of Colin, Richard Feder, whose synagogue was stormed by the Nazis during the Holocaust, and the members, Rabbi Feder and his entire family, were taken to the concentration camp Terezin. Only a few returned with Rabbi Feder after the concentration camp was liberated. Sadly, his wife, son, and grandson did not survive. Rabbi Feder moved to Colin, where he continued his work with the Jewish community. Visiting Colin, we saw the impressive Jewish memorial in the cemetery. It is estimated that around 80,000 Czech Jews were murdered during the Holocaust, many at Terezin concentration camp, which is now a museum and memorial. Some Czech Jewish children came to the UK on the Kinder transport. Now, there are approximately 2,300 Jewish people in the Czech Republic. The biggest population is in Prague, which is home to a vibrant Jewish community. There is a Jewish school, 2 Jewish care homes, 5 kosher restaurants, and a kosher hotel. I'd recommend visiting Prague and Colin if you haven't been already.
I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. I've been waiting in the mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai mi hamocha neder b'kodesh norat zehilot oseh ve'eleh norat zehilot oseh ve'eleh. I've been waiting in the velvet sea. 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 I've been waiting in the sea. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamideinu malkeinu l'chaim.
Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamideinu malkeinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamideinu malkeinu
We praise you, O God. May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth. Would you please rise?
Adonai sefatai tifta ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai sefatai tifta ufi agita hilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth shall declare your praise.
We'll continue in silence. On page 99.
Amrei Israel et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי
Shvi Shabbat Vayinav.
And on page 101 we sing.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech hador lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech hador lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
Baruch atah Adonai, oseh hashalom. May the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer.
Say shalom b'mrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Say shalom b'mrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Say shalom b'mrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'yakol bnei Adam. Oseh shalom b'mrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'yakol bnei Adam.
In a moment, we're going to turn to our concluding prayers. But just before we do, so that when we turn to the concluding prayers, we can then just continue straight into Kiddush. And most importantly, our Kabbalat Torah class gets to enjoy Chavarah supper together to celebrate with their families in the Azoria Hall. So we're going to do Kiddush in here so that the kids with their families can go next door. Just a quick reminder to come back tomorrow. It's lovely to see so many of you here, not just family, but also those who are the familiar faces for Kabbalat Torah services. That we have some real regulars for our Kabbalat Torah services. It's really lovely to see you all. A reminder and a warm welcome for you all to come back tomorrow morning to see these wonderful young people again in action as they will read Torah and lead the service for us. You should all have your copies of Davar, so we're not going to do any big announcements. But if you want to know what's going to happen in the next week, just find us after the service and ask. So for now, we're going to conclude with Aleinu, and if I could ask you to stand. Let us read together. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol,
לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, בגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. On this day, let us dedicate ourselves anew to the task that our ancestors tried in all their higher moments to fulfill, to bring nearer a time when all your children will understand that they are brothers and sisters, so that one in spirit and fellowship, they may be forever united before you. Then shall your sovereignty be established on earth, and the word of your prophet shall be fulfilled. Adonai, Melech Adonai, Malach Adonai, Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed.
We remember those who died in recent days and those who died at this time of the year in years gone by. In our community, we think of those whose yahrzeit falls at this time. Brian Allen Black, the father of Caroline Sampson and Gillian. Kit Harris, the grandmother of Sharon Goldstein, and Phil and Graham Stone. Minnie Morris, the mother of Marsha Myers. Michael Diamond, the father of Ingrid Squires. Lionel Henry Weiser, the father of Suzanne Minton. Henry Alpen, the father of Michael. Lawrence Bresnag, the father of Vanessa Burl, grandfather of Francesca and Gabriella. Samuel Julius Rubin, father of Rachel Hughes. Teresa Maureen Ellis, grandmother of Rowan. Peter Bullock, the husband of Jackie, father of Samantha Sibilant, Nick and Jonathan. Mark Woodcock, the father of Jonathan and Michael. We are saddened by the recent death of Juliet Jaffe, the mother of Alison and Isabel. Zecher tzadikim livracha. May all that was dear and good in their lives endure always as a blessing and as a continual influence for good as we recite together the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirotei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'tada v'tale v'talal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiran balma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru. Amen. Please be seated. So we continue with a prayer for peace and conclude with that prayer.
Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Do join us in the Kiddush Zoom room. And I'm going to invite the KT class onto the bimmer here. Come and crowd with me. And one of you pick up the bread. Somebody, Rabbi Aaron will pick up the bread. Okay. In the meantime, there are people coming around to help with the, you get to be in the middle. You all get to, yeah, why not, Davy? You get to be in the middle.
Hi guys, me, Davy.
So there's wine coming round for everyone, and Rabbi Aaron's got the challah. Okay. Right, this is the ultimate test. Do you all know the blessing over wine?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I know that it starts with Baruch atah Adonai, but then there's way too many things that start with Baruch atah Adonai, so I don't know exactly which one it is.
It's okay. We're gonna join in together. We're just gonna actually maybe the kids want some juice or wine. I don't know. Are they allowed wine for their Kabbalat Torah?
I'm fine with a full
okay,
glass
they went
worth
with
of
Rabbi
shots of
Aaron to the
apple
Czech
juice.
Republic.
I like apple juice.
Have you guys got apple juice, or do you need to share? Okay, come and squeeze in. You want to squeeze out of the way? Okay. So let's say it together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen amen l'chaim. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
You get big pieces now, you're big children.
Oh, and I think there's some challah coming around for you, all of you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to everybody on our live stream. We'll see you tomorrow morning. If you want to contact us, clergy@arksynagogue.org. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. Shabbat Shalom everybody in the Zoom room as well right now. Lovely to see you all. Jem, lovely to see you in Tel Aviv, and all of you right here from around the place.